Is part 2 of our pineal gland series. So we are going to start from right here. This is where we ended off the last one. So the great eye. So just to give you a bit of a recap, if you haven't seen the first video, basically what was determined, which was interesting to me, was that we're always looking for information from source through our third eye. And it is true that the third eye vibrates. It opens and closes just like these eyes do. But I thought that also the third eye, the information that you receive is like divine, it's truth. But what is said in this vlog, and it makes sense, is that no, it's not truth. It's actually an idea. So can I go back and find it here? So from the channeling that Matias De Stefano did, he said that the channeling says that the third vision, the internal one, here it is. So your third eye, your third vision, the internal one, is the concept of the idea. Yeah. So it's not truth, it's the concept of the idea. The third concept then, handled by the pineal, is not, as many believe, the internal truth, but rather it is precisely the idea we have of the exterior. And I thought about this, and I really think that the reason this is the idea of what we have of the exterior is because even though the idea of the exterior right here, we're looking and we're transforming, the third eye has the ability to create an idea, but the idea can be past the shadow and the light. Remember, these two eyes are our shadow and light. That's what they see. That's the information they bring in. The transformation occurs when your third eye, your pineal gland, begins to vibrate, and you start to transform through new ideas. So your external, whatever you're taking in from the external, your brain is no longer, because remember we said the only duty of these two eyes is to bring in shadow and light. One represents shadow, the other represents light. Once that happens, your photosensitive cells behind your ocular, behind your eyeball, the nerves, the neurons, everything begins to vibrate. What that does is it stimulates the brain, and the brain will form an image right away based on the information brought in through the light and the shadows. How does it form an image? It forms an image through this here. This experience of the mind, body, and spirit, fourth density, is your time. Your experience is basically the patterns that your brain, the cells in your body, right here, this box right here, these are the patterns that your brain, your cells, the water in your body, the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind have formed over lifetimes. So what's happening is what you see, this is why the iceberg example. So what you see, the light that comes through your eyeballs, is basically showing the brain shadow. It's a vibration, shadow and light. It is the brain who begins to create images within it. And what are those images based on? Those images will be based on the potentiator. Those images are going to be based on the potentiator of the mind complex, which is right here. She's the high priestess, the body complex, which is the hermit, and the spirit complex, which is the tower. Now, it's interesting because on the turban for this hermit, if you look at it closely, it actually has a DNA strand. This is information. Your DNA holds information, but it holds informations of patterns. That's why we need to feed our cells properly. We need to become a more alkaline body, because when you become more alkaline in your blood and in your cells, this divinity through the pineal gland, which picks up on light, the sun's rays, light, which is wisdom, is better absorbed through the body complex. All of these, there's better absorption. So you will have you will experience a better version of the matrix of the body complex, of the matrix of the hermit, of the potentiator of the hermit, of the catalyst of the wheel of fortune. This will become more of an experience here, a positive experience, because you will be able to receive the lights in your subconscious, the light from the sun right here, the mind complex, the lover's card, transformation, the pineal gland. You will be able to absorb that light better when you're more alkaline. Okay, so the third concept then, handled by the pineal, is not, as many believe, the internal truth, but rather it is precisely the idea we have of the exterior. It is very poetic to describe the internal look as a real one, as the real one. But the truth is that the pineal is in charge of regulating the idea, not the truth. For this reason, unity is only possible from the Trinity from 3 points of view. It is for this reason that the great I is always placed in the middle of the triangle or pyramid. So I actually just want to show you this. So here we have it, right? We've got 3, 6, 9, and then here right in the middle is the great I, which is source. And I'll come back to this in a second here. It is the symbol of God, but also of the basic concept of the philosophies called Freemason. Oh, okay, we're not going to look at that. So then we start here. The great I, then, is the one who generates the pulse of existence through the triune aspect, vibration, energy, and matter, which will originate the attributes of love, wisdom, and will, which will manifest sound, lights, and forms, which will then be observed by the right, left eye, the right eye, and the pineal. So here we have the great I, okay? So the great I generates the pulse of existence. It generates that energy, that pulse of existence. This pulse of existence just shoots out because it's so much energy. So it shoots out in all different directions. And the point here from this pulse of existence, this point begins to take the energy from this original pulse. It begins to take this energy, and this energy then begins, which is of love. That's the original, which is of love. Okay. This energy begins to form a vibration with all the different protons, electrons, neutrons, whatever. The heaviest part of this energy, the vibration, is when it begins to fold into itself. It begins to fold into itself. As it's folding into itself, what's happening is wisdom is being created through this folding of self, And wherever the folding of the self is the heaviest, if you can imagine, you take a pin and you drop it and it falls into the heaviest area of this vibration, the pin is going to get stuck in this vibration, and what it's going to do is it's going to start tightening when you turn a pin, and all this energy of vibration, the protons, the electrons, everything is going to start it's going to start engaging with this pin, and it's going to start to intertwine now with this pin, and now it's even heavier, and this is when it becomes matter. So on the flip side is when we're so far away, so the opposite of this, let's look at it. Let's look at the opposite of love is fear, right? So if we are in the energy of fear, this vibration, it's going to do the same thing. Okay, it's still going to keep folding. It's just going to create the shadow side now. We have angels. We also have dark angels. Here in this sixth density dimension, there's white angels and there's dark angels. We have light and we have darkness. So what's going to start happening with that vibration in the sixth density, the pin that we dropped is now dropped in a lower vibration. And when I say lower vibration, I'm just saying imagine the color red. The color red, the vibe of the color red is slow. It's the root chakra. So the pin, when you drop it to the heaviest vibration, and if it's that of fear, this here is no longer wisdom, because you can't see the light, you can't feel the wisdom, which is your pineal gland. If your pineal gland isn't vibrating at like very high, if it's a low vibration, then it's going to give you the shadow back. And what you're going to manifest is whatever it is that you're fearing. You see? So sometimes we need to go so far away. The only way to get back to the middle, to God, is through matter, third density. So here, it's the catalyst. So the only way to go back to source, to that middle ground, or the 9, is through the catalyst. The mind complex is the empress for the catalyst. Negative, yin energy. The body complex is the wheel of fortune, or I call it the wheel of choice, the wheel of karma. You can call it whatever you like. The catalyst for the spirit complex is the faith card or the star card. So the only way to go back to 9, which dips you into source, is you need to really, this unconscious mind needs to start becoming conscious. So this third density, all complexes, mind complex, body complex, and spirit complex, need to understand the triune of the 3, 6, and 9. So to go back to source and experience source, you have to go to third density, then the transformation, 6th density, which is basically mirroring us and doing that vibrational thing that I showed you, which is bringing you back that mirror into matter, the stronger and the heavier it is. This is why it is so important to daydream. This is why visualizations for 3D, visualizing and feeling that vision and being that vision, believing in that vision of whatever it is that you want to manifest, is key. Why is it key? Because when you are dreaming, whether you're awake, when you're visualizing, this here, the unconscious mind and the subconscious mind, don't know any difference. The cells in your body are just going to respond to the emotion. And what is creating vibration are energy channels from the root all the way to the crown. So when you are visualizing and feeling the vision, your cells are vibrating higher. When there's a higher vibration, if your root chakra, and most of ours is all intertwined in weird, heavy energies, that is the gateway to opening up those energies because your cells now feel this level of security because they are going back to what they recognize, which is source, the explosion from source, love energy. So the great I then is the one who generates the pulse of existence through the triune aspect, vibration, energy, and matter. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is vibration and this is energy. I know this is matter for sure, but maybe I have it backwards, but that definitely is your 3, 6, and 9. The only way to source is through 3 and 6. It's through matter, it's through will and wisdom. And for wisdom, you have to see the light. You have to constantly be transforming your thoughts. So vibration, energy, and matter, which will originate the attributes of love, wisdom, and will, which will manifest sound, light, and forms, which will then be observed by the right eye, left eye, and the pineal. See, there's so much happening that we don't see. This is why I love and respect my toroidal field so much. The top, the positive, and the shadows at the bottom of the toroidal field, it starts from the heart. I'm always giving gratitude to my heart and telling it how much I love it. All my organs, because they hear you. Even this morning, I did a tapping and humming and tapping for my organs, especially my gut and my heart, because the heart is also the unconscious mind, and I'll explain why. So here, if your experience is your heart, so the heart plexus, which is your 4th chakra, which is your green ray, the heart is actually your unconscious mind. And the reason I say that, I know I always say 3rd density, the theme here is to be unconscious. And the organs, all your organs are the unconscious. The thing is, when your heart is unconscious and rippled with societal patterns, the patterns of your upbringing, when it's rippled with that, it is your unconscious mind. And in order to undo all the matrix and the ripples, and it's kind of like when your chain gets when you take off a chain and you don't put it back properly, it's hard to untangle. That untangling of the unconscious starts with observation. This is also your personal consciousness. So if your personal consciousness is being ruled by your organs, which are unconscious, and the heart is the middle, the heart plexus here is the middle of all of these, you see? So, and your gut is the subconscious mind. This is why it is so important to keep that gut clean, to eat nutritious food for your body to be alkaline. The gut is your subconscious. I know I always say the water in your body, all of that is your subconscious mind. It is. But the main organ that is linked to the subconscious mind is your gut. The intestines. I think it's particular. I don't quote me, but I think it's particularly the small intestine. Okay, the gland embodies the ideas of the spirit of the universal mind descending consciousness into matter. Okay. But just as you open and close your eyes, this third eye does the same. It closes and opens. Hormonally, this gland is responsible for generating the chemical reaction that makes us sleepy and makes us wake up. Biologically, we can see that waking up is inevitable, and it is what drives us to seek the light of day, to move through life and carry out our daily activities. While on the other hand, the same gland tells us when it has been enough and we should go to sleep. It warns us through tiredness, exhaustion, our eyes forcibly closing, that is necessary to sleep. Well, no one can live their entire life awake, since surely you didn't know it is during sleep while you sleep that all the energy you have used during the day is assimilated by the body, nourishing each cell. It is the time when you do not spend cellular energy, and therefore they can eat, your cells can eat. Your body regenerates and nourishes itself while you sleep. That all the energy you have used during the day is assimilated in your body, nourishing each cell. I just want to go back to this transformation. So the transformation for the mind complex is the Lover's card, which now we can say that there's the shadow eye, and then we have the light. The shadow and light come through these two eyes, which where then the brain begins to create images. And the images that the brain creates are from our past, even past lives. So the pineal is the light, it's right in the middle of these two eyes, and it's the one that actually can receive information from the sun. But this information, the purpose of it is to give you other ideas, to transform the thought, the images that your brain creates for you already. This is why your life is so special. This is why you're like a snowflake, because no one else is going to be able to, no one else has the thoughts that you have and is able to transform the thoughts that you have through the imaging, through the pineal gland, because the pineal gland will give you a different idea, perhaps, because the pineal gland is connected to information from the sun. So it'll give you perhaps a different outlook on things, which will change if you practice this more and more through love, through wisdom. It'll change the images in your brain. And this might take some time. For some, it clicks right away. But for others, like for me, it just takes a lot. It takes time. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, I got it. And that's when I know that this death over here has happened to that thought form pattern. That death, then I know this in myself, that the body complex, this death has occurred and this spirit complex is now more contemplative. It's not as intertwined with like old thoughts from the brain, from the images. I know now my spirit complex is starting, like the judgment card, right? The sun rays are calling this trumpet that this spirit is playing. My spirit is connecting to this spirit and the light and the music, the sound. I know this has happened when I think of like things that scared me before and they just don't have that same power anymore. I know that they are being transformed with my own thought of that comes through love and wisdom now. And on the level of soul, the emotional, how do you live? We call it the sleep of the unconscious and the awakening of consciousness, also regulated by the same gland and its hormones. Pineal comes from the concept pineapple due to the shape of the gland, shape that this gland has in relation to the pine seed. The symbol of this seed represents an ascending toroidal spiral that opens all the possibilities of the soul, like a tree that points to the heavens and therefore is related to the divine connection. For this reason, it was interpreted throughout history that this center of power is the one that allows us to connect with other planes and divinity. And in a way, it does. This is what allows us to connect to Source. 3, 6, and connecting to Source. Source is 9. And in a way, it does making us dream in the world of ideas or bring our dreams down to reality. But let's get back to the basics, sleeping and waking. Just as in biology, the soul also needs its time of wakefulness and sleep. He also needs sleep. The periods of unconsciousness are the soul a kind for, the periods of unconsciousness are for the soul a kind of dream in which it is loaded with experiences through errors and successes, living dreams and nightmares. So the periods of unconsciousness are the soul of a kind of dream, for the soul are a kind of dream in which it's loaded with experiences through errors and successes, living dreams and nightmares. Thus, at the moment of awakening, the power of all the experience is integrated, giving strength to face the transformation of life. You know, this reminds me of the matrix of the spirit complex. And the transformation that's occurring here. So the judgment card of the spirit complex. So I feel like what he's saying here is that the soul needs to sleep as well. The periods of unconsciousness for the soul is a kind of dream in which it's loaded with experiences through errors and successes, living dreams and nightmares. So here's the devil card, which is the matrix of the spirit. Right? And it's all tangled up. Like, look, this spirit complex, it looks like it is in shackles. It's entangled, perhaps because it's sleeping. It's unconscious. It's the matrix of the spirit complex. The periods of unconsciousness are for the soul a kind of dream in which it's loaded with experiences through error and successes, living dreams and nightmares. So if this is the spirit complex of the matrix and it's asleep, it's unconscious, and the experiences we just talked about, I said the heart plexus is your unconscious mind, then it's doubled down with all the other organs, which the catalyst is usually unconscious. This 3D is unconsciousness, right? So if the experiences, which is the heart plexus, the unconscious, it's loaded with it. So it just keeps getting loaded the more unconsciousness you have in your heart plexus. Okay, so the soul also needs sleep. The periods of unconsciousness are for the soul a kind of dream in which it's loaded with experiences. So it's loaded with the time patterns, for patterns to build, which can be nightmares for most of us in the beginning of our lives. Thus, at the moment of awakening, the power of all that experience is integrated, giving strength to face the transformation of life. So, if your spirit complex is asleep here and it's being loaded by the unconscious mind, which is doubled down, it's the catalyst. So space, 3D, it's your solar plexus. It's also time, the experience, the patterns of time that this unconscious pours into the heart chakra. So if these two or these three, all of these, let's say, continue to deposit because the spirit complex is asleep and unconscious, and the experiences being deposited are constantly unconscious, then the potentiator, this tower card, the spirit complex, is looking for the potentiator in order to transform. And the potentiator is here. It's in the light. Everybody misses this point. This light bulb here, people think, oh my God, the light bulb's, it's broken the top of the pyramid, which is interesting because the piece that's broken of the pyramid is exactly the 369. But what's important is that this lightning bolt, that's light. That's information. If we could still our mind, that's what counteracts the potentiator, the stilling of the mind. If we could still the mind, we would receive information from this light bulb, lightning bolt. But when you're in fear, you're going to jump. We want to live. Everyone's afraid of dying, so they jump. And then you lose your triune, your 3, 6, and 9, your connection to the light. Then we have the 3D catalyst, which is space. Faith, or the star card, is the spirit complex of the catalyst. We then need faith. We need to recognize this here once again. We need to recognize the shadow and the light in order to awaken ourselves from the unconscious. We need to come to a neutral, balanced state again. This balanced state is met with the moon card, which is the spirit complex of the experience. So the way the moon pulls on your water, the subconscious mind, will very much be it's going to pull the water depending on the moon cycles from your body, which also depends on what your astrology is. The way the moon pulls your water is going to be directly related to your energy and vibration, which then brings the spirit complex hopefully to the significant self. So the significant self, the significator, is your I am, and it's always observing. It's observing from all these different angles, and this has no time space. There's no time space. So the fifth density can actually see it all. It sees everything. It sees all your pathways, all of it. So this is why when I do meditate or I pray, I always, or even throughout my day, I will always ask the fifth density guides, the guides reside here, to show me whatever it is that I'm looking for, because I now know that the pineal gland is, it's not truth, it's an idea. So I would like my highest good easiest path and the truth in the highest good easiest path. So I always ask the significator, 5D, the sun card, to show me. And I ask that because I have faith. It took me many, many years to begin to have faith in something greater than me. This is what brings you to the judgment card, the spirit complex. This is what, when the spirit complex begins to unshackle, and through this journey here, it will come into life now with this positive experience of love and wisdom, and it is going to form wider perspective, and that wider perspective goes through the significator, the sun card. And then we have the world. There's music, there's a bird, there's the sun, there's motion, you have the boat. No one is fully conscious their entire life. And what's more, nature does not seek you to be so, nor does divinity seek you to be so. Sometimes you need to sleep. You shouldn't judge yourself for being sleepy or waking up. It's natural. You can't judge others for being asleep while you wake up. The power of all that experience is integrated, giving strength to face the transformation of life. That reminds me of the strength card, of the experience. This strength is required by the spirit complex. That's the heart plexus, right? To wake up. It's strength. Okay. I always said that those of us who woke up earlier have the responsibility and loving service of preparing breakfast for those who are still trying to open their eyes. And sometimes, so the soy says, and sometimes many of you are preparing breakfast half sleepwalking. Yeah. Well, many of you walk awake, still living the dream. With the pillow stuck to my face. It's true. It happens to me many times. Soy says it's normal. In a process as long as life, opening your eyes takes years. Every day your physical eyes prepare you for that moment until one day you open the eyes of the soul. The soul lives a very extensive life through many bodies. Is that why we say that our eyes are the windows to the soul? The soy says, well, it's poetically accurate. The soul has seen and recorded in its energy everything it has experienced, translating it in you in the form of emotion. So there we have it. You know, I couldn't remember that vlog I did, and I could not for the life of me figure out, is the body complex the emotion? Because emotion is created through the organs, or is the spirit complex the emotion? And it seems to me as though the spirit is your emotion. Well, it's poetically accurate. The soul has seen and recorded in its energy everything it has experienced, translating it in you in the form of emotion. But you know what? The spirit is different than the soul. So okay, hold on. So the spirit complex and the soul are two different things. So maybe the soul is the body complex. It is the emotion. Because it's your body. Your body is the antenna. Your blood, your organs. That is the antenna that to the divine. This makes our appreciation of truths from the point of view of the soul, which we could contemplate in the eyes. So in summary, I can't see the truth. I can only see a tiny part of it. Furthermore, being asleep in consciousness is not as bad as it seems. It seems that everything we have been told is some kind of hasty lie. In reality, humanity is experiencing an awakening, and those who wake up earlier and see that it is a beautiful day do not want to miss a single minute of that significant sun, and they want everyone to wake up so they can enjoy the sun together. What they ignore is that in 12 hours or less, the sun will disappear again into the sunset, returning to night sleep, and the dawn will come again. It's constant. It's a big problem. Fighting for something that is circular to be linear instead of learning to move with the rhythm of the universe. The need to wake up and for us to always be awake in consciousness is the same as thinking about waking up today and never going back to sleep. If humans enjoy the moment of sleep so much, why can't they enjoy the periods of unconsciousness? Today, the me says, today I was telling my friends that something strange is happening to me that has never happened to me before. And that is that when I go to sleep, I hug the pillow and smile very hard, almost giggling with happiness. And that's never happened to me. The soy says, because you are learning to embrace your shadow, to live here and now. You always used to live in the future in what your eyes can't see. It is the first time in your life that you appreciate the present, and therefore closing your eyes does not hurt, because going to sleep means being fully in the present. Now I propose something to you. Stand in front of the mirror and look closely into your eyes, into your pupils. Let your perception and preconception show you how your vision of yourself becomes distorted until you lose the sense of your form when only your eyes remain. Have you done that before? I've done it. And I love it. Like, all of a sudden you see your third eye here, right? And it's so crazy because the third eye is here and your eyes are here. Everything else is gone. You lose track of shapes and ask yourself, what do I see in myself? Can I smile at what I see? When I look in the mirror, do I accept what I see? What are the distortions that I do not accept in myself? They are only in my mind and what I cannot accept in what I see. They are the perceptions and prejudices that I have in what I see. My ideas of how the world should be, not how it is. The me says, many times when I observe myself, I do not accept many things about my body, my hair, my belly. I find most difficult to accept. And the soy says, and why? And the me says, before it was an aesthetic question, but now being more aware, I understand that I deny much of what I have in my mind, what I know, what I think, what I have in my head, always hoping that it is better to be able to do it in the best way, judging what I do as useless. Yeah, I've done that so many times too. And I've projected all that in my hair. So I think the reason he's saying this is because to be unworthy possibly is when you begin to lose your hair. If you feel a sense of unworthiness, it's something to do with your hair. And on the other hand, I see emotions as an important, despite manifesting myself as a very mental, I am too emotional, and I haven't been able to manage much of the things I feel, release them, which sums up my vision of the belly. So yeah, emotions are held often in your belly. This freaking happened to me. When I just couldn't deal with my emotions anymore and I just gave up everything. I ended up gaining like 30 pounds. And it was because emotionally I just gave up. I stopped running my Amazon businesses. I just gave up on everything. So that's probably why. So emotions are held when you don't deal with the emotions, your belly gets bigger and fat. So your brain understands these two aspects as negative because there is a preconception of never being what is expected, of always looking for something better, and you see emotion as an impediment to achieving it. And he says, I do. And then the soy says, now that you have seen it, you bring awareness to it. And every time you touch your hair, you tell it your awakening of consciousness about your ability to live in the present. I'm awakening to consciousness and I am in the present. And when you stroke your belly, you tell it that emotions are all the tools you will use. You are just trying to understand how the usefulness of each one. Did you hear that, belly? Talk to your body. Your body is not real. It is what your eyes see of it. Change your inner vision and see what will come, what change will come. The me says, awakening consciousness is a long path. It is accepting the alarm clock has rung. We all have a hard time getting out of bed. The soy says, nobody demands you to get up. The spirit is just showing them that it is a beautiful day outside and that breakfast is already served. I open my eyes and I see the sun. I project a new vision on the day that begins. So, have a very good day. So talk to your body. Don't see the body, the organs, as to what these eyes see. It's always something deeper. And heal. Start healing. So I had really bad eczema, and I can't remember what eczema is about, but check this out. My eczema is going away. And I mean, I did talk to the eczema. I also started taking parasite naturopathic remedy. I think that possibly helped a lot. But it was when I went on vacation, my eczema just started going away while I was on vacation. And now I thought it would come back, but since I've been back, it hasn't. But I've also been changing. So the remedies that I'm using is like, I'm only using coconut butter. I also have an aloe plant over there. It's right there, actually. And I just cut it and I put aloe on it. So my mind towards this eczema and how to heal it and how to take care of my own body complex, it's not only healed externally the eczema, but whatever is connected to the eczema as well. And I just want to see here, like, what is connected to, what's that lady's name? Louise Hay, right? Louise Hay, eczema. How do you spell eczema? Eczema. Like that? Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. Heal your skin. Where's Louise Hay? Oh, here. Okay, so, because I love this. She has this thing where she's written in a book, Eczema Healing the Emotional Secret Formula. Louise Hay's. Okay, let's see. So, can I move this? Oh, good. So here, emotional cause of eczema will help calm the eruptions within the body that are manifesting as itchy, inflamed, scaly skin. By utilizing this effective tool. So, EFT statements utilize Louise Hay's emotional interpretation of the physical problem, which may help you. I was looking for her book, though. The core, okay, so to know the core emotional cause of the eczema problem. No, okay, that's not a very good one. Where's her book? Okay, let's go PDF. PDF. Louise Hay, you can heal. You can heal your life. Is it in here? Sorry, guys. This just came up. I would have looked it up on my own time. Heal. Is this it? Allergies. And I think this might be it. So A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D. What is going on? Sorry. I had I downloaded. Okay, I think I might end this. I'm so sorry for wasting your time. I used that book before. Oh, I don't want the affirmations. Is this, no. I don't want the affirmations. Heal your body, A to Z. Louise Hay. Okay, I'm going to have to look for it on my own. Anyways, sorry about that, you guys. But she does have a PDF out there. Louise A. PDF free download. Did that download? Oh. No. Is this it? Never seen this before. But I think it might be in here. I should just buy this book. Let's see. D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. E up here. Elbow. Eczema. Breathtaking antagonism, mental eruptions. Oh, so maybe I'm not having as many mental eruptions. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry it took so long. Love you guys so much.